What's up, everybody, to another episode of Tristan's Shop Talk, TST Live, episode 38. Oh, man. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for making it to another episode. Thank you. Late night. August 11th, 2025. Yes, Monday. You probably wouldn't believe me, but I did just delete what I actually had in mind what I was going to talk about. And so now I'm just going, and that usually things like that happen. Even when it comes to even at the times when I did open mics, and most of these open mics, I don't like being 100% prepared. I just like going with what's being kind of the tone of what's going on there. I haven't done open mics in a minute. I really need to go back and do some boondocks and then do secret group. I just, with this new gig, me starting off with this new gig and getting adjusted, I'm definitely in my routine now. Everything's kind of going back to normal in a sense. I mean, what are you going to do? So from that's why I haven't been appearing lately. I just felt I needed to come on just to kind of smooth things over. There's so much that's been going on, and that's also been another issue. It's kind of my excuse, but the justifying excuse is just the idea that, I mean, I don't know. I can't even keep up with everything that's going on. And every time I pick up or read something, then either this is happening from Israel saying they're going to take over Gaza to let's go over to tsunami in Hawaii that didn't really happen to we can go, and then, first things first. But what my point is, a lot of things definitely going on. Foreign relations with, now we got a meeting with Putin. So a lot going on, which is my point. And starting off with this is episode 38, TST Live. And before I go any further, I kind of just wanted to go ahead and present just kind of, which, this is kind of, I didn't really want to start it off like this, but the whole thing would be, I'm just acknowledging this, him, Jose Silva Antonio, and he has a long name, but his name, I know definitely is Jose. I had it written down, but my whole thing is this sailor was attached to the USS George Washington, and what happened, somehow he got lost at sea. They were doing some type of training exercise in Australia, and I'm not exactly sure what. I think it was very north of Australia, out to sea doing training. Now, as far as I know, he was an ABH, which is boatsmates. ABH, which is aviation, meaning he's on the flight deck. Now, I'm not even going to go as far as and explain what exactly happened. All I can say is definitely if that was his job, more likely he probably was on the flight deck, and possibly an incident did happen, which is very sad. And I just wanted to start it off by just paying my condolences to his family and for him being lost at sea, which is a very sad case. So it's also just a reminder of how dangerous some of these young sailors put themselves, or they sign up for these jobs, and some. I mean, there's always risk with a lot of these jobs on these carriers and ships. So it's just it's not a very common thing that happens. I mean, it does happen, but it's not a very common thing that happens regularly. Which, as far as I know, once the ship gets acknowledged that there is somebody who's possibly lost, there is a man overboard called, and for everybody who hasn't served, the man overboard is pretty much ideally where knowledge is that somebody has went over into the sea. Man overboard is called throughout the whole ship, and everybody has to report to their duty station or pretty much their whoever is in charge of them. And when everybody appears, then they're accounted for. If that gentleman is not accounted for, obviously, uh, that's when it's a man overboard. So then they start the rescue, and apparently they did like a 48-hour rescue, or they covered a lot of square miles and couldn't find them. So, depending how rough the seas were out there, depending so many factors. But I do know that that was one of the most kind of freakiest things that you would kind of think about being out to sea would be just being out to sea and that happening. I mean, I never really thought about it on that end, but I always did think about it that it could happen. But I always felt as long as you didn't think about it that much, then it wouldn't happen. So I didn't like thinking about it because I feel you're like I mean, you're falling from a carrier, and I mean, depending how you fall, what's going on. Now, when you're on the flight deck, you do have gear on. So when you're on, when you're on the flight deck, you have your cranial, and then you have your flight deck. Dang, I forgot the name of it. So I had a green one, but the green one had where it had a floaty in there, and then also you had to kind of blow into it in order to get it inflated if it had to. But there was a CO2 cartridge on there, so that if you had to inflate it, then you could. So, like I said, but I mean that's definitely could help you, but falling from you're quite high. I mean, you're kind of high up, and then if the ship's moving at all, I mean, that's a whole other deal there too. So a lot of factors, and which is why I'm just paying my respects to him. And then I'm just bringing to light on how dangerous some of these jobs are. When you're out to sea. I've had actually people tell me, even old school veterans, who tell me that, oh yeah, you're a sailor or you're on a ship, you're safe, and I was like, not really. You're not really safe. I mean, a lot of things can happen. I mean, even just a simple little falling down the stairs. Some of these stairs are very steep. You got to kind of, if you're taller than 6'1" or 6'2", you're kind of screwed, because then you kind of got to bend your head everywhere, because everything's so cranked. So everything's just so on the ship. Everything's just, you have to be careful with your head. You can hit your head on a lot of things if you're not careful. So I mean, I'm 6 foot, so I mean, what, 6 foot, whatever. But anyways, I would always have to kind of creep down too sometimes, because with my boots on and everything, it make me, just where you have to be mindful of short spaces. So from that to, like I said, to the flight deck, or even some of these exercises that we were doing, even I remember sometimes we couldn't even be on the flight deck because the seas were so rough. So, oh man, I just can only imagine, and so my prayers, my condolences to the family of this sailor, Mr. Jose. You know, so yeah, so I kind of just wanted to go over that and kind of get that out. I did. So, because I have another family member that's in right now. That would be the last thing. Oh my God. So it's just, I mean, which is also why I'm also very fascinated by the sea, because the sea itself is just it's just endless. And and I just trip out so much about the sea, which is why I like going scuba diving. And it's just really amazing on some of the things that you see down there. But I can only imagine just being out in the middle of the ocean, you know. So, man. All right, so we'll move on to something a little more positive. But aside from that, uh, big things going on with UFC, which I wanted to acknowledge. But before I acknowledge anything about UFC, I wanted to acknowledge what the fight is coming on next Saturday. So next Saturday, we are having who is Chamav and DDP. I can't just I call him DDP. So DDP and Chamav is going face to face next Saturday. This is UFC 319. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this one. Uh, Aside from that, I've just been watching some of the fight camps for both of them. I don't know. This is the one that's kind of going to get me. I truly believe that Chamav. I'm not putting Chamav out of it. I'm definitely not putting DDP off of it. I think this is kind of only also compared to something like Burns and Chamav, which is one of the best fights I've ever seen of Chamav's, which I thought was just all the way down to the end, where it had to be a decision. So, I mean, whether somebody's going to knock somebody out or even get them, I don't know. Anything's possible in this next fight. So, I just wanted to let everybody know that definitely looking forward to that. Can't wait to see this go down. I mean, this is, oh man, I think we've all been waiting for this fight for a minute, and with that being said, I mean, there's only so much that like I said, this fight's definitely going to put UFC on the map for right now. Now, what's interesting about it is that Chamav generally has issues with getting visas and getting permission to come to certain fights here in America. So they usually just set him up in other countries, which is, and to be honest, I'm not even sure where this one is going on, to be honest, but I know it's to favor Chamav, and I was, DDP's already, I think he's training he's training in South Africa, from what I understand. So uh, DDP's down there, and then you have Chamav, which is somewhere, I believe, in Chechnya. And obviously they showed some of his fight camp where he's already using all that money and he's building houses for his family members. So my point is that if there is a UFC fight at the White House, yeah, there's definitely going to be some issues there because I'm not sure. I mean, everybody's going to have to go through some type of background check or some type of clearance in order to even consider on being on that fight card, if that isn't actually going to even happen. Which, I'll chime in on that real quick. But my point of view on that, I mean, I never thought I'll see a UFC fight on the White House lawn. But hey, whatever. I think I don't know. Like I said, it's just nothing ever surprised me anymore. Whoever thought that we would see a UFC fight? I mean, that's almost like back in the day that maybe Ronald Reagan would have had Mike Tyson fight, there in the White House lawn just for the hell of it because he was a boxing fan. But whatever, different times. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it. I know I've heard a lot of people who said they would not watch it. That they wouldn't watch UFC that night. But I think if it's a good card, which more likely it would be a good card, that people would go ahead and turn and look at it, or maybe show up to some bombshells or Ojo Locals and actually watch the fight. Because I think it would bring a lot of a lot of places, a lot of funds and money for that night for the White House fight. So who knows? I just know that if Chamav wins, that might be one of the issues because he'll be the middleweight champion. So if he is, then obviously they're going to want to take him to the White House if they can. I just know he has ties with certain people. I've read some things where he's had ties to some people that they're kind of on a watch list in a way. So kind of interesting. But on top of that, that I know that's I mean, not saying Chamav is just a fighter. So I mean, he definitely puts it out. He's a fighter, and he's just a fighter. Now, does he have friends? Does he know people in certain places? Yeah, so I can't really count that against Jamal because he's in the fight game, and honestly, I'm guessing a lot of people do pay him for seminars to come and train with them or even yeah, just do camps or whatever. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I just kind of wanted to bring that up on how that kind of occurred, but I thought that was kind of interesting. So and then on to the next. The next thing that surprised me, which I wanted to bring up, was the so UFC is hooking. So there's gonna be no more pay per views. So no more pay per views on for UFC. You don't have to pay for pay per views no more. Now it's just gonna be where you just gotta have a subscription to Paramount. But see, then again, I'm still thinking there's still going to be some type of. I'm still thinking that there's still going to be some type of extra price. Like you subscribe to Paramount, but then like when those fights happen, then maybe you have and say I don't know, or maybe not, or maybe you just get. But I mean, apparently there's no more pay per view, which is kind of interesting because I guess it's almost. I guess he's going to be getting paid. I guess it's worth it. I've heard it's like some $7.7 billion deal or something like that. Because I'm guessing it also brings in money to the fighters as well. So I mean, not only does Dana White not benefit, but all the fighters do benefit from it as well. So I mean, I think that's kind of interesting as well. I had a picture of it, but I don't know where it's at. So I was looking for it. So what I can do, let me go ahead and so yeah, so I just wanted to bring up Dana White, owner, CEO of UFC, has announced that there will be no more pay per view. Now, when this is going to go into effect, I have no clue because this all just happened today. I thought it was kind of cool that this would happen. Um, I mean, because it's kind of beneficial on not having to worry about paying for pay per view anymore. Because now I just gotta have a Paramount subscription. So I'm just looking it up. Yeah. I'll read that one. So yeah, UFC wins exclusive 7.7 billion. That was right. 7.7 billion. 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 $7.7 billion deal. 7.7. So I'll show you the article that I just found. So you see there. Paramount Pictures. Paramount days after finalizes merger with production studio Skydance, and Monday it will pay 7.7 billion for exclusive U.S. broadcast rights to the Ultimate Fighting Championship for 7 years. Damn, that's like 1.1 billion a year, I guess, right? That's like damn a billion a year, huh? Whew, that's crazy. The first major strategic move by the combine company. The addition of the UFC's year-round must-watch events to our platform is a major win, said Paramount CEO David Ellison. Uh, so, like I said, I mean, I hope they don't get into another where you have to pay something else inside there. I hope you can just have the Paramount subscription and always watch the fights. Um, So the owner of UFC, which is TKO Group Holdings, um, streaming service Paramount Plus will from next year carry the complete US slate of 13 numbered UFC events and 30 fight nights. Oh shit. So it's getting away from ESPN. So ESPN is no out of it now. Wow. As far as I know, Dana White was already talking about this. Um, I know Dana White had kind of put it out there because ESPN wasn't really, I guess, doing things for him the way he wanted, and then for his time schedule that he wanted to as well, time from time. Um, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if Dana White's also going to bring. Maybe it's just UFC and that's it. Which I'm obviously it's just UFC, but I'm saying like the slap. Some of his other things. I know now he's doing these jiu-jitsu uh, where he's doing these matches. Uh, so I don't know. It's a big deal. I know a lot of people are going to be very happy with this deal because all the with all the money involved. But yeah, it says it right here. Uh, Numbered cards have historically been pay-per-view events featuring top-ranked fighters and championship bouts, but now will come at no extra cost to viewers. So there you go. Wow. Ellison, who oversaw Skydance's run of Hollywood action blockbuster TV series, committed to increasing Paramount's investment in high-quality exclusive content, which he was called the single biggest driver of his subscriber growth. So everything's subscription now. And I can kind of go on a little rant about this because, back in the day, we used to have floppy disks. We used to have, disks you put in your computer, you load up the program. That's how you own the program. And then you type in the code, and then you have like kind of a license number. No, now everything's subscription. I mean, I almost believe everything's going to get to the point where you just don't even own it. You don't even hold it. It's all subscription. It's all like money just being taken out of your account every month. So I mean, I guess I'm sold on this. I mean, how else am I going to watch UFC if I don't get Paramount? So Paramount Plus, I guess that's going to be added to my list of things to be streaming. I mean, even now, we don't even. Most of us don't even have DVDs. I know some people have DVDs. I have some DVDs that actually I have a library, but I would like to get more, which like Blu-ray, but as in physical content, not many people even deal with that anymore. It's all just going to be either on the disc or either just a subscription. Um, I mean, remember it was a thing where everybody used to collect Disney movies. People don't even do that anymore. Just get the Disney Plus. So it's crazy how this is definitely changing. Um, I think it's very interesting. That all this is happening. So everybody, that was another kind of crazy news, I thought, which was the idea of these UFC fighters just going, I guess, pretty much where, um, I mean, these fighters gonna have to benefit from most of these deals that Dana White's doing for UFC. So I think it's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. So we'll definitely see where it goes. Um, so. Wow, okay. Let me get back. So that was it for that story. My next story, which I posted on my Facebook, which I thought was kind of funny, but also kind of sad, because I'm sure, So, Florida man went to jail for being married to 3 women at once. And I know it's bad that I'm even laughing, but I'm more laughing at the fact that how I mean, he must have been like some type of salesman, or he could have been like some truck driver, I don't know, or something. But I mean, I just don't know how you would pull this off. I mean, I give you props, bro, if you even attempted it. But I mean, to me, that's just like a lot of energy. But I wanted to I wanted to share the video. So this guy definitely tried to pull it off with 3 women. Apparently, I read up on it, and the guy, he met all 3 of his who became his wives. He met them all on dating sites, and on all these dating sites, one of them made a comment saying that I guess he was very dedicated to finding the one and growing old. Some type of saying he had on his Tinder, and kind of she brought it up because it kind of caught her eye, and she thought he was being very sincere and whatnot. Obviously not. Obviously he was just running game. So man, but it's kind of messed up. But at the same time, I mean, you just can't trust people nowadays. Sometimes you just have to.
But first, our I-Team has an update on a story we broke earlier this year. Good evening and welcome to ABC Action News at 6. I'm Wendy Ryan.
I'm Paul Agrone. A Florida man was thrown in jail after his wife discovered that he was married to 2 other women at the same time. He was back in court yesterday for his sentencing hearing after pleading guilty to bigamy, which is a felony.
And new tonight, I-Team investigator Adam Walser is following through with the latest developments in this strange case. And it was shared all across social media.
Yep.
Henry Betsy Jr. pleaded guilty to a single felony count of bigamy back in May. But after he entered that plea deal, he was arrested in another state, leading the judge to revoke his bond. When we last saw Henry Betsy Jr. in court, he was dressed in a sports shirt and blazer with his new girlfriend beside him.
Yeah, Henry, we want to get your side of all this. What
well, unfortunately, I'm unable to talk at this moment.
But when he arrived for his sentencing hearing Thursday, he was wearing handcuffs and an orange Hernando County jail uniform. His bond revoked by the judge because he was arrested for assault and battery of a family or household member. The alleged assault took place in Virginia, where he and his girlfriend had traveled to attend a wedding. Thursday's hearing was all about the felony bigamy charge we first told you about in May. 3 Florida women from 3 different Florida counties all met Henry Betsy Jr. on dating websites and married him at county courthouses during a 2-year period. Only one of his wives was willing to appear on camera.
I met him on Match.com.
He said all the right things.
He sold the perfect person when in reality he was none of those things.
Betsy didn't get divorces or annulments before marrying again. Last year, Tanya Betsy learned Henry was married to Michelle and Brandy Betsy.
I just started county by county putting his name in, and that's when I came up with the marriage to Michelle and the marriage to Brandy.
She found me and she messaged me, and I had no idea that she was actually still married to him.
The wives all blame the state of Florida for not cross-referencing marriage licenses between counties.
Because if there were safeguards and plates and there was...
Wait. So y'all gonna try to blame the state? This dude had to be leaving more than he had to be gone for quite a bit of time. And you can't blame the state for a dude just missing. He had to be missing for quite a bit. Within 2 years? Come on. Man, that's more than like a full-time job. That's anyways, I'll go ahead and
cross-referencing on different counties here in the state.
Counties.
Because if there were safeguards in place...
To Brandy.
She found me and she messaged me, and I had no idea that she was actually still married to him.
The wives all blame the state of Florida for not cross-referencing marriage licenses between counties.
Because if there were safeguards and plates and there was cross-referencing on different counties here in the state of Florida, none of this would have ever happened.
If the counties did talk, that would have saved me a lot of heartache, a lot of money, a lot of stress.
At Thursday's sentencing, Michelle Betsy addressed the judge.
And I am unfortunately still the wife of the defendant. I am not here today just as a woman who was betrayed by someone I once trusted, but also speaking on behalf of the other women involved. What he did was not a mistake. It was a deliberate choice, and choices have consequences.
Henry also spoke.
First and foremost, I want to apologize to the ladies for it, and I want to apologize to the court administration and also to my family and friends that have to be involved in this, because ultimately this is something that, I did not wish on anyone.
Because Henry had no prior criminal convictions and his case in Virginia has not been resolved, the judge said he was limited under the law in what sentence he could impose.
Adjudicated guilty of the bigamy offense, which is going to make him a convicted felon. I'm going to sentence him to 2 years of probation with 8 days credit for time served. He'll undergo a mental health evaluation. He'll complete a certified batterers intervention program.
Deputies collected Henry's fingerprints and a DNA sample as part of the protocol following his felony conviction. Betsy's former wives and their family and friends said they had hoped he would see jail time, but were glad to put a difficult chapter behind them.
And while it was not jail sentence, the fact that he is now a convicted felon, that speaks mountains. And I feel like that is vindication on our part.
Is that the first time you've heard him say, "I'm sorry"?
Absolutely. And I'm sure that it was only said because it was recommended by his attorney to say. Do I think that he has any remorse?
Oh,
absolutely.
Man.
Michelle says she's now talking to state legislators, hoping they'll...
He said he was sorry. Not saying he really meant it. I mean, by that time, look what already happened. Fool's a convicted felon now. And then on top of that,
introduce a law calling for some type of statewide marriage license database.
We can take this to the next level, that we all here in the state of Florida can learn from this, and that we can put up safeguards so that this doesn't happen to other women.
Okay.
In addition to that probation, the judge ordered Betsy to stay off of social media and dating websites, and he also ordered him not to have any contact with his 3 former wives. I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser with photojournalist Matt McGlashan taking action for you.
Adam, thank you. And here's a look at Adam's original story that was shared all over.
Yep, I read it. It was quite interesting. Too interesting. Like I said, you're just not going to have enough time to deal with that much. And then these girls must have knew something was up. And either there was some other things that were exchanged in between. I don't know. That one's kind of weird. Real weird. Did that story. Ladies and gentlemen, that was 35 minutes. I think I'm good. Because I missed working out today. I might have to. I'm so busy. I guess that's what happens. We all get very busy. We all get just full of things that we want in our lives, and it's just you're just busy. And I guess busy is a good thing, but I also would say busy away from busy is there's ways to relax. And I don't know. I kind of lean towards more relaxing, lately, and I can also say, let me go ahead and end it off now. Yeah, so I had a recent birthday, and this recent birthday, man, just kind of a lot came to light, and I guess the other thing to it is just time runs very fast. And before you know it, you're like, whoa, like what just happened? Year after year. I guess I'm hoping everybody thinks the same. Everybody wants something else, more, or if not that, people have goals. Um, and some of my goals, I guess, I've met. But yeah, it's just after this birthday, it was kind of a kind of a hit to the stomach, kind of just a gut hit, just like, ugh. And then you just kind of realize you're like, okay, yeah, I guess now I got to focus more, don't waste so much more time doing other things that are not really 100% beneficial. I guess that leads also to some people in some cases or some ways. But overall, I have to say that moving forward now, yeah, there's a few things I am going to focus more on and concentrate. And hopefully some of these things can help me move forward more, and move more forward towards the goals that I am looking forward to accomplishing and doing. So I did want to kind of bring that up because recently I did just come off. I didn't do too much for the birthday. I didn't really care for. I'm not really big on birthdays. I'm not big on birthdays at really at all. Um, and like I've told everybody else, most of the time it's also because I've been away for I was away for 5 years. I got kind of used to just being away for my birthday and doing my own thing. Not saying I like being away from family, but overall, I just got used to just seeing it as a day, And I feel now moving forward, as long as you use your time wisely, If anything I've learned to this point now is just using your time very wisely, and concentrating on the things that make you happy as a person, uh, and concentrate more towards just moving forward. But sometimes you are gonna have to do some things that you really don't want to do. There's gonna be some times where, for the time being, kind of gotta look through it. There's also other times where, I guess you got to keep your mouth shut too, and then just continue moving forward. But overall, I really have to say that I am blessed that I can say that did have another birthday. I'm very blessed. I'm blessed to have my mom and my dad still in my life. Still definitely family. I think is the most important thing overall. So I guess this was also why I wanted to come on here on another episode, from episode 38. I have all this energy to come out and talk and speak, and I have more energy to go out and try to do it live or in front of a few people or in a try to do these open mics. But just based on everything that I have going on, it definitely is a lot. And like that goes right back to where I was saying before, as in concentrating more on moving on doing the things that I need to really do, and move forward from there. And even I had I did have I did go out for a little bit, and yeah, it's kind of one of those things now. Been there, done that. I do still enjoy like going out every time from time, but overall, it's still I do like coming home and just being at home. So I just wanted to end it off. That I was gonna go politics towards the end of these last stories, but I thought I'd just mess around with those with Chamav and UFC, and then UFC moving in with Paramount, merging with Paramount. So that being said, it's already going to be 41 minutes. All right, everybody. I'm definitely going to have another episode this week, and it will be live again. This is going to be another TST live episode, which will be 39. 40, I'm definitely going to have a guest. I'm not. No, I'm sorry. On my other podcast deal that I have going on too. I know it's all kind of confusing, but these are my solo ones, which I just do by myself. I've gotten up to 38 by myself now. So now moving forward, I do plan on doing more of the TST live late night. It's just, like I said, it's just gathering everything that I want to say on here, and then just maybe trying to have it align and come out correct. So I guess at least I was able to bring out 3 stories and then top it off with, me having my birthday and kind of just relaxing, and just being blessed that I was able to celebrate my birthday again. Like I said, I'm very a basic person, very simple and basic. So. And then before I go, I do plan on having, there's just been some hiccups with some of the guests. Some things have been going on. So I've been I've been wanting to have my other guests on. And these other guests, it's just hard lining up the times and the everything going on with their schedule, my schedule. I have 3 or 4 that I'm still pending on. So just work with me. But this TST live late night will still continue going on. So I will keep y'all updated. So hope y'all were able to enjoy the episode. I'm just finishing off. I'm looking behind. All right, everybody. So, I don't know what that one's for. Here we go. So yeah, if you can, like and subscribe. Oh wait, it's on this side. Yeah. Come on. Please, come on. Tristan's Shop Talk. Come on. TST Live, episode 38, late night. All right, everybody. Well, thank you again for coming out. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everybody's support. Until next